guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a collab with Claws by Cari to do kind of a behind the bars thing with Yolanda Saldivar, who, if you don't know, it was the. I think she waits until I try to start talking before she does it. Oh goodness. Okay. To the garage, of all places, to hide from children and pets' noises and everything else. But it's not seemingly working out as well either, because like the loudest cars on the planet keep driving directly down my street for some reason, and they don't rev their engine until they get right on the other side of the garage door apparently. So yay for that. Little off track. I don't know. I guess holiday time. It's one of those things, right? Okay. So Yolanda Saldivar is a former nurse and was the fan club president who was convicted of the murder of Selena Quintanilla-Perez on March 31st, 1995 in Corpus Christi, Texas. She basically murdered and killed the queen of Tejano music. Huge deal in the state of Texas. Most people that live up north, if you are not Hispanic, if you are not of Mexican descent or listen to Tejano music, probably wasn't that big of a deal, or you really didn't hear about it. Her English album had just kind of broken in the US or just debuted in the US right about the time that she was murdered, so she didn't get a chance to become a superstar in the States, so to speak. What we're going to do is talk about Yolanda Saldivar and talk about her behind bars, because most people know, if they know who she is, they know about the murder, they know what she did, they know, her story, Selena's story, all of that fun stuff. And then they go, well, good, she's rotting in prison and she'll be there forever. And we hope she's rotting. Well, the TV shows and movies don't necessarily paint a correct picture of what it's like in prison. So I did have the distinct pleasure of working in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for years and years, and got to deal with Yolanda Saldivar on a pretty regular basis. So I'm going to go ahead and answer a couple of questions, because I did post something on Instagram of like a poll. It was like 60-40 basically, on yes, people wanted to hear, and 40 no. So if you don't want to hear about it, you can turn the volume down or move on, because this is that video. So in prison, Yolanda Saldivar is in what they call protective custody. This means she is not in the general population, does not interact with, socialize, do anything, live with. She does nothing with the general population of prison. So she's not hanging around with, child molesters and murderers and things like this, and being intimidated and threatened and all of this fun stuff on a daily basis. It's just not reality. Now, she has been threatened. Her life has been threatened many times, which is why she is not in the general population. There are actual inmates, and there have been prison or correctional officers that have been approached by the Mexican mafia to perform a hit on her for Selena's murder. So it is still an active, pretty much, protection on her life for TDCJ. So they have to keep her there. She will remain there for the rest of her life. She is eligible for parole in 2025, but there's probably no way she's going to get that. TDC pretty much knows that the second she hits the street, they will be finding her body, basically because of the numerous hits that are actually out on Yolanda Saldivar. Yolanda herself is pretty strange. She isn't very in touch with reality. It's a little odd. Like, she knows she's in prison. Of course, like 99% of the prison population, she insists she's innocent. She really does not believe that she did anything wrong. Truly, she believes she is innocent and doesn't need to be in prison. She thinks she's been falsely imprisoned. Clearly, she killed Selena. There's, evidence in trial, there's no way that she didn't. But she's still out of touch with reality on that and insists that that never happened. She's kept in a smaller building with a few other ladies who are held in the protective custody level. They get to converse with each other. They live with each other day in and day out. They don't have physical contact because they are in protective custody. Everything they do is individualized. When they go to take showers, when they go on the rec yard, when they go, anything they go out of their cell for, they just have to be moved individually. They can't come out as a group because they are in protective custody. They will never go anywhere in a group or with another inmate ever. They are escorted by 2 officers. They are protected. Basically, they will halt all traffic on a unit to move the protective custody inmates to wherever it is that they need to go, whether it be medical or to see the warden or to off the unit, wherever it is that they need to go. The whole traffic on the unit stops and they get moved. So in that aspect, it's like they're a celebrity. And I think she actually thinks that as well, because she will be smiling the entire time she gets escorted around or goes anywhere. She's smiling and looking around and flipping her hair about and, basically acting like she's treated as a celebrity. So it's a little odd, being that, she's in prison. They stay by themselves in their own cell, which is actually not that small. It's a good size. They have a sink, a toilet, they have their own bed, they have storage chest, they have their own TV and their own headsets. They get their meals brought to them. They get commissary brought to them. They get books brought to them. They still get religious visits. They still get regular visits. Of course, those are protected as well. And so they get where they go by themselves to those things, except for when the religious ones come around, they kind of address everyone in that building. So it's like a group session, but they're all still in their protective cells. Now, when you say a cell, it sounds bad, but they're separated by the concrete walls, but the whole front of the cell is like a mesh, like a metal mesh kind of thing. They face windows. They have an indoor rec yard that's right on the other side of the cells. Their shower is right on the other side of the cells. So when they do have to come out, there are 2 officers available for moving and these things for the protective custody inmates. They get letters, all kinds of crazy letters. They get phone calls. So it's not like she's going to rot and be persecuted and feeling horrible in this tiny black little hole. That is not the case at all. She is living life every day, basically like a normal person. The only difference is she's not allowed to leave whenever she wants. Like, she can't go shopping at H-E-B or whatever grocery store you have, but she can go shopping at the commissary, and people put money on her books, as they say. They give her money. So she has fans, and they like to help her as well. Now, she was not lonely in prison. She met another infamous Texas murderer called the Cadet Killer, and they became very, very close. They both spoke Spanish. They were the only two in the building as far as offenders or inmates are concerned. So they would talk to each other in Spanish only, so the other women couldn't understand what they said. They became so close that in the prison staffing and things of that nature, they had to keep them sort of separated. Like, they couldn't, their cells were moved to the farthest apart and in the building, and their times that they swapped sides and things like this were all moved so that they could be kept the most separated, because they were what staff would call girlfriends in prison. They were very much infatuated with each other, and I believe that today they possibly still are. Now, the Cadet Killer did finally and eventually get moved to another unit, and she is still petitioning the court and petitioning the TDCJ administration, making false claims of being jumped and threatened, and trying to hire other inmates to beat her up so she can be moved back to the protective custody unit with Yolanda Saldivar. But it has been put on her record, and in administration does know that that's what she is trying to and attempting to have done. So they're basically just trying to make sure that none of that can happen to her, so that way they stay separated for as long as humanly possible, because it was getting to a level of where, everyone knew they were girlfriends, they were having a great time, they were acting like they weren't in prison. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't nice. People from the Cadet Killer's family and her friends were doing things for Saldivar on the outside, and vice versa. Their fans were, putting money on and seeing visits and getting attorneys and all of these things for each other. So they were in a solid relationship. I'm not sure if they are currently. They cannot have contact with each other, so it's not like they can write each other in prison. So as it stands today, Yolanda Saldivar is probably a little bit more miserable than she has been since the date of her incarceration. So that might give you a little bit of warm fuzzies on the inside, is that, possibly today she's now finally a little bit miserable. She believes that she was set up by the Quintanilla family, and that her Selena's dad hired someone to frame her for the murder of Selena. She does not have an attorney that is currently representing her. She represents herself. She makes false claims on a continuous basis, as well as contacting media and fan clubs and things of this nature, saying she's being released. She was falsely accused and being let go. These are not true. Do not believe those rumors ever. She will be up for parole in 2025, but again, that's probably a guarantee to get denied. A, due to the nature of her crime, and B, due to the fact that she has, hits on her. So it would kind of be like, if they knew that and let her go, they could be held responsible for her death. So she will be in prison forever. She will probably not get another trial ever. There is no basis for a retrial or appeal. There's no new evidence. There's no new witnesses. There's nothing. It's just her saying, it wasn't me. Somebody else hired somebody. They set me up. It was an accident. There was somebody else there. All of the crazy things that she has said over the past few years just to try to somehow get out. I mean, I don't know exactly where she would go, because again, she wouldn't be able to live much longer. I mean, Selena is huge still in the Tejano community and in the state of Texas. She is widely revered. Statues, music, clothes, boutiques, anything with Selena on it is huge. HEB still puts out a Selena tote bag, and when they put out the 2 that they released, they were sold out in minutes all over the entire state. They're just like reusable grocery bags with Selena's picture on it. So Selena is still right there. They released those. They were sold out in minutes. They're just tote bags. This one of those is for sale for $250 online right now. You buy the tote bag for $6. Like, it's insane. They still absolutely love Selena. So Yolanda Saldivar will never get out of prison, or she will basically be dead instantly. So I covered a few of the questions. Hopefully that kind of helped give you guys just a little sneak peek behind, the bars for Yolanda Saldivar. She's not rotting as much as, some of us would like her to. But just know to bask in a little bit, because she's being tortured just a little bit more now that she doesn't have her girlfriend. You want to go check out Selena's video if you don't know who she is. The link is provided in the bio or the description. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for a regular video.